Hi, thank you for joining Cindy's Got Questions. Many years ago, I had an algebra professor, and he had a rule. He said, show every step of solving a math equation so clearly that if he gave it to his elderly grandmother, to correct your test or your homework, she would be able to logically see it through even without knowing algebra and could grade your work based on you clearly showing the steps. Well, that lesson always stuck with me. And I believe it's a principle that we should apply to public service, especially in our Cedar Woolley School District. Policies and procedures might make sense to the administrators, but for most of us in the community, they feel like a maze. It's a big puzzle. We deserve transparency, clear step-by-step communication that makes the district's decisions and actions easy to understand. I'm encouraged. One of our current school board members not only answers questions, but she also writes a monthly newsletter. And it's all to keep everyone informed of what's going on. That's a step in the right direction. Did you know that Washington state law holds our school board accountable for the proper operation of our district to us, the community? If you want to look it up, it's RCW 28A.150.230. The school board works for you. So let's encourage our board to embrace clarity and openness in all they do. Our community deserves nothing less. It sometimes feels like the superintendent and other administrators are in charge, and they make the decisions without considering what our community values or needs are. But that's not how it's supposed to work. In Washington state, the school board is the boss of the superintendent. The board hires the superintendent, oversees their work, and makes sure they're doing what the community expects. Now, this also includes the current interim superintendent and the assistant superintendent. Another Washington law says that the superintendent must keep clear records of all school money. If you want to look it up, it's RCW 28A.400.030. So they're supposed to keep records of how it's spent and where it comes from. I recently, a month or two ago, asked for the EPO levy, the expenditures. The first time I asked for it, I got a bunch of numbers, dashes, dots, but no real clear record. So I brought it up to the assistant superintendent. To his credit, he had them send me a new report for just last school year, 24-25. Really appreciated it. It was clear, line by line item, except for one thing. In between there were these sub-fund entries for varying dollar amounts. Could be hundreds, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars. I added it all up. It was over $10 million that just states sub-fund entry. Not what it's for. Not clear, not transparent. Where did $10 million go from the EPO levy that we're currently paying taxes on? Oh, lost my place here. Okay. So they have to show records to the public at the annual school meeting of the budget, and they have to keep them available to anyone. Did you know that? No, you didn't. I didn't know it until I sat in on a meeting. I had no idea what was going on because it's not made clear to us. Finally, another rule makes it clear that the school board is responsible for running the district properly and answering to our community. That rule is RCW 28A.150.230. So your school board has to run the district properly. The superintendent has had a habit of and the assistant superintendent, of coming to the school board saying, we've got, 4 new contracts, and here, sign them, and they sign them. They have no idea what they signed. I've asked for the records. It wasn't anything out of the ordinary. However, what if it was? Did anyone on the school board actually look at the contracts? No. So let's sum this all up. The school board, not the superintendent, is in charge of how the school district operates. They need to hold that leadership position that they have been given by us, the taxpayers, us, the voters, us, the community. And they have to realize they are responsible. They are responsible to make sure the superintendent's actions reflect what we want for our schools. I've seen parents come to school board meetings and speak up about bullying, and then something's done. I've seen mothers come on, speak about books that were not age appropriate in the elementary schools. I won't say which one, and something was done about it. Because if we follow the school administrators who say, oh, will you tell it to this person, the teacher or the librarian, and then you have a meeting with the principal, and then you meet with the administrator that's in charge of yada, 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 and nothing ever gets done. It all gets thrown under the rug, and then what happens is parents get frustrated, and some of them actually leave our school district. And guess what, folks? Our school district gets paid per student that attends. And the parents have a lot of power to make sure that things are done properly. Bottom line, you, the community, have more power than they want you to know that you have. Really, honestly. They want you to think that you have no choice but to take your kid and enroll them in that school where there's problems, and you have to take it and suck it up. We have schools with rotting buildings, falling rain gutters, sinking foundations that are affecting windows. There's one school, Central, has a sinking foundation, and they're going to put new windows in. While the sinking foundation affects the current single pane windows, we're going to put new windows in so that the sinking foundation can affect those windows. Makes no sense. This is what I'm talking about. You know, we don't object to nice sports facilities. But first, we must ensure our children attend schools that are safe and comfortable, allowing them to learn. And to be transparent, I've started a PAC, Political Action Committee, to campaign against Proposition 1 and Proposition 2 that's on the special election ballot that you'll be voting on February 10th, 2026. I encourage a no vote. A no vote will make it clear to the school district administration to rethink putting Janicki Fields, new tennis courts, and other sports and recreation ahead of the classrooms in the schools. They're going to be able to revamp their priorities, and they can present it again in April. There is no rush, and don't let them tell you there's a rush that, oh my goodness, the schools are just not going to be able to operate, because that's not true. That's not true at all. There is no rush. There is no hurry. They can redo this and re-present it again in a manner into which makes sense, because none of this makes sense. If I think what I'll do is I'll try to put a link to the documents that show their priority list, and you can see it for yourself. I'll put it in the comments. It'll be there by tonight. I have to rush out the door here soon to take my mom out shopping. Have a wonderful day. I hope you all survived the floods. I really feel for the people upriver and in Burlington that have really been affected. And my prayers go out to them. It hasn't been easy. Tune in again I should have another clip for you on Wednesday or Thursday. I'm still making lots of requests, finding out where things are, who's getting the computers that they're buying, and where things are going, because money's being spent without accountability. And you and I deserve accountability. And I'm not wasting employees' precious time. These things are in records that are computerized. They're not in records in a basement that's dark and covered with spider webs. It's not scary. It's easy to find the records. The ones I'm asking for are specific records. I encourage all of you to go into finding out how to submit records requests, or just to be able to peruse, look into what other people have requested. Everything I've requested and those answers are public records, so you can go look it up yourselves. You can call the district or email Jada Trammell. I will put her email address in my contacts and get an account. She can walk you through it. She's really good. Have a blessed day, and remember, you have more power than you know. Goodbye.